Everybody, it's Niall Livesey here with PRN Tech. Now you clicked on this video, so you probably have a bit of an interest, at least, in the iPhone 8 Plus. But maybe you've got the iPhone 7 Plus, or you're like me, you bought the 8 Plus over the 10 because you really didn't see a purpose to buy it. Just, the screen certainly nice, but I wanted the same functionality out of a phone that didn't have to cost me the same as the new iMac that we bought here. So I went with the 8 Plus mostly for its camera features. You know that we do a lot of video stuff here at PRN. And we're using the Canon 6D, which we're filming this in with. It gets the job done. It's a decent video camera, but overall, being able to take still photos and some specific stuff for the video, it's nice to have something that works really well. And the iPhone 8 does a pretty good job. And it helps because it's got the dual cameras on the back. One is sort of the regular camera, and then the other one is meant to be a telephoto. Now, it's not like a huge crop. It helps to zoom a little bit. But it's not, the difference between using like a 24 millimeter like we're using on here and going up to the 105 millimeter setting on it. It's a little bit of a zoom. They call it 2x. There's a lot more to it than just a 2x crop factor. And there's actually some reasons why you shouldn't be using that unless you know exactly that it's taking photos with that other camera. A few weeks ago I noticed I was using the iPhone 8 Plus and just taking some photos in the basement here. And I wanted to use the 2x factor, so I clicked the zoom in button. And I noticed on the screen that it looked very, very grainy. And I thought that's really weird. From an optical zoom perspective, it should be still the same quality photo, but just closer to it. So then I realized, I took the phone, I covered the lens on the bottom, which is the second zoom lens, and it was still able to take photos. The screen was still showing whatever I wanted to shoot because it's not using that second camera. So I thought, what is the problem? Where's the discrepancy going on here? What can I do to fix this? And it actually took a little while. I had to search online, and it's really not documented very well. Apple doesn't go into detail, obviously. I mean, they probably don't want people to really know that there's limitations with their software and hardware, but it really doesn't work very well in low light or non-daytime light. We did some testing. We went outside today. It was snowing, so it was pretty bright out. And we took the iPhone 8 and the iPhone 8 Plus, and we wanted to see the difference with the second camera on the 8 Plus. So we did some tests. We covered up the lens with our finger, and it works pretty well, right? So we can see in daylight that the second camera, the zoom lens, is certainly covered when we're trying to use the 2x crop factor on the iPhone 8 Plus. We went then inside to see what would happen if we did the same thing. And in a typical sort of setting where you're trying to take photos maybe of people or objects, you're in a building and a house, we noticed that as soon as we put our finger in front of the lens and tried to take a photo, switch it over to the 2x, the photo still worked fine. It wasn't using that second lens anymore. It was using the standard lens and doing a digital zoom. Now, taking a look at the images we took with both the iPhone 8 and 8 Plus, there really isn't a difference when you're using the 1x zoom factor between the two phones. They're both the same, which is what you would expect. Both cameras should be the same. It's when we start testing the 2x, the actual optical zoom that comes with the 8 Plus versus the digital 2x zoom, roughly, with the iPhone 8, because the 8 Plus will give you a zoom guider. It'll, you can click 2x, and then from there you can zoom digitally up to 10x. But with the iPhone 8, there is no guider for that. You just kind of zoom in like you've always done on the older hardware. So it kind of gives you a rough idea of what the picture quality looks like with those two. Now, when it comes to the differences between the two lenses on the 8 Plus, and again, we're only talking about the 8 and 8 Plus because the iPhone 10 has a slightly different 2x optical zoom lens. I believe it's a 2.4 aperture, whereas the 8 Plus has a 2.8 aperture. So a little bit of a difference there. And really the wide angle lens is a f1.8 and the telephoto, the zoom lens, is a f2.8. So there's not a huge difference between those two. Everything else, according to Apple's website, they're all the same. It's the same type of sensor. It's the same, everything else is the same except for the actual lens that is different between the two. But it seems like in order for Apple to get those consistent photos, it is shooting in f2.8, which is the maximum that you can get with that camera. So really, I mean, the whole point of this video is More of a PSA just to let people know, because, you know, for me, I was using this phone a lot for photos and for video, and I was just using the 2X, not thinking about the actual lighting conditions or where I was filming. I just thought, hey, I need to zoom in, boom, I'm gonna do that. Keep it in mind wherever you're shooting, whether it's photos or videos, with the iPhone 7 Plus or 8 Plus. If it's in a lower light situation, like here, we've got two umbrella lights here pointing on me, plus all the other lighting in this room. It is bright enough. You know, I have no issue seeing around, but the phone will kick down to the wide angle lens on a digital 2X zoom. So keep that in mind. Use that 2X zoom with the iPhone 8 Plus only if you're outside. If you're outside, great weather, looks good outside, definitely use that. But if not, you might want to consider either doing a quick test like we do. Take the phone, stick your finger just in front of that bottom lens. If you're doing a landscape photo there, stick your finger there just to see, does it force itself to use the wide angle lens? If so, then you really shouldn't be cropping it, because the crop is going to look worse than if you just take a non-zoomed in, non-digital zoom photo and then crop it yourself down the road. It'll help to preserve a little bit more of that image quality. So keep that in mind. So far, there's really nothing you can do about it. I do have an app on here called ProCam, and that you can force which camera you use. So you can force it to use the zoom lens, even in low light, and you can really kind of play around with it that way. So if you wanted to get a little bit more advanced with your iPhone 8 or 8 Plus, then you can certainly use that. I hope you've enjoyed this video of PRN Tech. We're doing some different stuff here. This is the second actual full official video of PRN Tech. I know we've done some stuff before when we first relaunched the channel, and technically everything prior to 2015 is part of PRN Tech as well. So, you know, I hope you liked the video. If you did, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. We're going to be doing some more stuff over the next couple of weeks. Our plan here at Perpetual Radio is to have a minimum of 2 videos per week, and that could be 2 test drive episodes, and it could be a test drive or PRN Tech. We're going to be doing our best to get 2 videos out every single week for the rest of our lives. So we're hoping to ramp up production on that. So you're going to be seeing some more PRN Tech stuff, and it's not always going to be new stuff. We're going to be doing some stuff based on what's back here. So stay tuned for that. If you're into retro tech, retro gaming, then we've got some fun stuff lined up in that regard as well. So thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.